Hello, everyone, and welcome to EuroStep podcast live on YouTube and EuroLeague TV. I'm Sofia Del Prado, and I'm very happy to introducing to you again my co-host and resident expert, Dane Arlauckas. Please welcome him.
Hello, Sophia.
Hello,
Lovely to be
Dane.
back with you.
Yeah, I can only say the same to you. Last week we started off our guest section with Anthony Goods, and this week we couldn't think of a better guest to be joining us than Mahal De La Durantaye, EuroLeague social media host. Welcome and thank you for joining us today, Mahal.
Hello to you both. I'm super excited to be here today.
We're super excited as well, and we're also excited to be having everyone watching, commenting, and being part of our show today. We want you guys that are watching to be sending out comments, to sending out any questions that you may have, because we're gonna be reading also the best comments and any questions that you have. We are here for that. So start getting involved because this show just getting started. Before we go on, I want to say that we also have a promo code for everyone watching on a special EuroLeague code, which is PO20 for the first payment on a monthly pass on EuroLeague TV. It is excluded on Italy and Spain, and it expires at the end of the regular season. So if you need it, you can use it PO20. We're going to start talking about the latest news on EuroLeague because yesterday the ECA Shareholders Executive Board met remotely to talk about the situation on the war in Ukraine and made the following decision with its statement: to suspend participation of Russian Federation teams in both the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague, CSKA Moscow, Unix Kazan, Zenit St. Petersburg, and the 7 days EuroCup Lokomotiv Kuban Krasnodar. EuroLeague Basketball to continue monitor the evolution of the situation. Should be the situation not evolve in a favorable way, all regular season games versus Russians learns to be annulled to configure the league's standings.
EuroLeague Basketball and its clubs reiterate their firm commitment towards peace and against any acts of violence or war. And we continue to use our voice to promote respect, inclusion, and diversity, values that sit at the core of the organization and its teams.
This is the latest news coming from EuroLeague headquarters, and we're gonna start moving forward to what happened on EuroLeague last week. Because 2 weeks ago we had a lot of so basketball to the competition. What we are here for. We're talking about what happened on the game between Zalgiris Kaunas and Real Madrid. We had a big surprise 2 weeks ago, and we saw another one last week. Real Madrid lost to Zalgiris Kaunas at the arena in Zalgiris Kaunas home to 21 points. What happened there, Mahal?
I mean, again, I'm always a fan of the underdog, but this one caught me completely off guard. I mean, how does a team with a 5-19 record beat a first-ranked team, and they're winning like the whole game? Like, what this tells me is that they clearly set the tempo, and Real Madrid just happened to have pressed the snooze button for one too many quarters. Like, I mean, the last time I saw this, I was actually with you, Dane, when they played FC Barcelona. What do you think? Why can't they control these games that start with a strong attack?
Well, first of all, let's just this speaks to the competition of EuroLeague, and that on any given day, the bottom team can be one of the top teams. And if it's not your day, it's not your day. Zalgiris came out; they played a fantastic game, especially on the defensive end. But Real Madrid's in a bad spot right now. Real Madrid's not just in a free fall; they're in a crisis right now. I mean, 3 games and 3 terrible games. The worst games that they've played all season long have been back to back to back. First in Fener, then they got wiped out by Barcelona. And that game was over in the first 4 minutes of the game. And then they go to Lithuania and they get spanked by Zalgiris. I mean, it's a crisis management mode for Pablo Lasso. I can't wait to get to talk to him. I'm sure he's not too interested in talking to me, somebody from the press who's going to ask him all these questions. But I will say, Real Madrid, they just have become too one dynamic right now. They need some guard play at the moment because their big man, they're just too reliant on their big man, Vincent Poirier and Eddie Tavares. And in their last 2 road games, they've scored a total of 98 points, less than 50 points a game. That is not cutting it, especially for a team that used to be one of the top offensive teams in the EuroLeague.
I think that for me, in my opinion, I have to be honest, I know I'm going to be tough, but for me, it's lame that a team like Real Madrid lost 3 games in a row. First Fenerbahce, then Barca, and now Žalgiris Kaunas. Come on, guys. You need to wake up. We're in the mid-season. We need you to start getting motivated for the Final Four. If, like, this is the last race, last chance for you to be there. I also think after following a lot of sports competition, not only basketball, but the other sports, is that sports is never a constant line. Sports always have ups and downs. Teams have ups and downs. Also, let's not forget that injuries, of course, cause an effect on the results of the team. But, at the end, I think they need to wake up. We saw how Ephesus had a very bad start in the season, and they came back. We also had that Barca had some bumps on the way, and now they're back on track again. I have faith that they will come back on track, but for me, it is very concerning that they were held to 47 points in this game, which has never been the case in the EuroLeague basketball competition. The last time they were held to a similar score was in 2010. I mean, was it the defense of Žalgiris Kaunas that good, or is that Real Madrid was taking an up?
Yeah, I mean, Sophia, anytime a team is held to under 50 points, obviously defense has a lot to do with it. But they just had an off night, and it's not just an off night. This has been an off couple of weeks. They have gone cold, and this is a team like we talked about. They like to score a lot of points. They like to bang it down low, but they also like to get those easy buckets. They were shooting around 60% from inside the arc with Tavares, with Yabusele, with Poirier. But on the perimeter, it was really tough for them in that game against Žalgiris. What were they, 1 for 15? I mean, that's historically low. And you can't win a game like that. But the guard play needs to step up for Real Madrid, and that's Pablo Lasso's biggest problem at the moment with his side. In the last 3 games that have all been losses, of course, they've had 1 guard score more than 10 points. It was Sergio Llull back in Fenerbahce, and he scored 12 points. It's not going to cut it. Eddie Tavares and Poirier need a little bit of assistance, a little bit of help just in the offensive attack.
Guys, we have a comment. We have a question from Son in YouTube that is sending us a question. He's asking do you think that Real Madrid can find his form before the playoffs? What do you think, Mahal? What's your opinion on this?
Absolutely. I mean, like both of you have been saying, like there's ups and downs, and although they really need to get a hold of themselves and can't be taking any games lightly in a league where every single game matters, I think they'll totally be fine for the playoffs.
Sean, I'll just let you know, I don't know if you do know, Sophia, sorry about that, but in Madrid, people like to press that panic button as soon as things go a little south. So don't worry, Sean, as long as Madrid are in the playoffs, I think they'll start to find their form. There's plenty of time in the regular season for them to get back on track.
Look, they need to find their form because we know how the Real Madrid fans are. They are very demanding, and they're gonna be waiting a lot from Real Madrid, who we know for sure that took advantage was Kaunas, and this is what Geoffrey Laverne tweeted, because he said, fabulous team win in EuroLeague. Thank you to all the fans to support in the Salgueiro Arena. They were happy. The fans were happy and indeed surprised.
Well, Sophia, let's take it from Lithuania over to Greece, where we've got the month MVP of February's MVP of the EuroLeague, and who else but Sasha Vezenkov, who just absolutely killed it in February, going for almost 16 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, and a PIR of 18.5. All the while, Vezenkov was leading the Olympiacos side to a 3-1 record over the month of February. And Sofia, I mean, first of all, Olympiacos is for real, but Vezenkov's got to be for real in your book too, right?
Of course, and you know what I love is that we are halfway through the season. We're talking about MVPs, and we're not only talking about Nikola Mirotic or Tavares or Larkin or Mitic, last year's MVP. I love that the debate moves toward other teams, other players that maybe are not as known as these ones that I've just mentioned. So I'm really happy to see competition, to see emotion. I like it. I like surprises, and that's what I love about sports and about EuroLeague.
Yeah, you know, Mahal, this was the first time that Olympiacos has had a month MVP in almost 7 years. It's just a crazy thing to think about when you think about all the players and the history of this club. But are we getting to the point where Vezenkov is in this conversation for the MVP in your book?
I mean, I think there's a lot to say for a player who, there's a lot to say for the energy a player brings when they're playing at their absolute best. Okay, so he, right now, this season has earned his personal best for assists, steals, free throws, play time, and those are hustle stats. Okay, so he's playing well. I think that his award is well deserved. I think that if he can keep this momentum up, he can compete with contenders like Larkin, Mirotic, Tavares, all the names that we know very well.
Yeah, well, it's been a long time coming for Olympiacos, and they were rushing to get it on their social media page because this is what they had to post about their main man, Vezenkov. Well-deserved Sasha, and after the February that he had, well, of course. And, hey, he might just be going up, 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 and even higher throughout the regular season.
You know what was going on last week? We had a big surprise in, in Lithuania. Then we moved to Greece, and now I have to go to France because the under 18 Asvel Villeurbanne team got their first ticket to the EuroLeague Basketball Adidas Next Generation Tournament Finals. Dane, what do you think?
Well, I can't say I'm surprised. Did you see that dunk to start this clip? I mean, that was just disgusting. My goodness. But this is a team that I actually saw last year in Valencia in the Next Gen Finals, and they surprised me. This was I think it was their debut tournament last year, and they almost beat their eventual champions Real Madrid. They lost 82-80. But they've got a big core of that side back. They've got Kylian Mulwaya, who was the MVP of the qualifiers in Serbia. They got Kimani Huison and my boy Romain Parmelentolo, which I love that name. It's the best name I've ever commentated on before. And this is a strong team that's only going to get stronger. And watch out EuroLeague, because these guys are coming up, and they're coming up quick. And Asvel Villeurbanne's doing it from the top to the bottom. Good for the Parkers, good for them in Villeurbanne, and watch out the rest of the EuroLeague and the next generation sides.
Look, 100%. I think we're going to be hearing out from them, and we're going to be seeing them on EuroLeague growing personally and professionally. And hopefully we're going to be talking about that here on EuroStep. Someone and some players that I'm sure were also rising stars like they were, are the players that we're going to talk right now that were the last week EuroLeague Fantasy Challenge team. This is the team that used to have chosen, that you should have had.
Yeah, no, this is definitely an impressive fantasy lineup. I think the most impressive part of this is having Coach Ataman, who I think is great. Diallo is a player that'll push your team for wins on both sides of the court, so I think that's a key. Vasilier, no question. I think Aaron White on this lineup is a little bit surprising because he had to start. He started playing late in the season due to an arm or hand injury, but he just had his last game against Panathinaikos. Donatis has been playing very smart basketball lately and is definitely a great investment for consistent points, which I love. And I think the exact same about Nedovic. So, yeah, solid lineup.
Guys, we have another comment from Oriol saying, great stuff, guys. Thank you so much, Oriol, for sending out your comment. And please, everyone watching, just encourage yourselves, cheer us up, send us love. We're very happy to see your
We love
comments
it.
and to be sharing them with you. We were talking about the fantasy challenge and the players that signed on the court last week. But we're gonna talk right now about something that happened on a game, not exactly of what happened during the game, but what happened offside, like outside the game. We had this cute proposal in the FS game where this girl is now going to be a bride. What do you think, Dane? Isn't that cute?
I mean, look at this, bringing both passions, love and basketball together at one. I'm sure there's probably more places that are a bit more romantic than the Sinan Erdem Dome, but I will say, my man looks like he knows what he's doing. He knows she's a big basketball fan. She's from Istanbul. She's from the FS, the blue side of Istanbul, and I couldn't imagine imagine anywhere else she wanted to get proposed to. My only question is, they were winning that game by a lot at halftime. If they were losing, is he rethinking this, thinking maybe I got to delay this for a little longer because she may not be too happy at the moment. She might reject me.
Yes, he didn't have much more choices than saying yes at that moment, because it would have been a little bit embarrassing for the guy. FS was on the news last week because of this cute proposal, but it will be on the news this week because of the Turkish Derby that we're going to be living. I'm talking about Fenerbahce and FS. Here's a promo.
It's a passionate sporting city, Istanbul, and passions will be high.
To the west, reigning champions Anadolu Efes Istanbul.
Oh my word!
Take that! To the east, EuroLeague powerhouse Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul.
Brings it home with thunder.
Oh, look at them fly! All eyes on Istanbul then for what promises to be a mighty matchup.
Well, it's the derby that's stronger than a cup of Turkish coffee, and we head to Istanbul for the big one. It's Efes, it's Fenerbahce, and Sofia, what's about to take place on Thursday?
Well, I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be, what I can tell you for sure is that it will be wild, that the fans will go crazy, and there will be a star, which is, I'm talking about Shane Larkin. I love this player. You know, I always talk about him. He's a key guy on the last victories for the team. So I'm hoping to see, you know, this game with a piece of these Turkish delights that are very famous, like baklava.
Yeah, I mean, last time, I'm agreeing with you here, but last time FS won by 3 on Fener's court, and it was a close game. I think I remember the whole game, and FS had just come back from, or was still recovering from some pretty big losses earlier on in their season against like Milan, Cheska, Madrid, Asvel. So, you know, now, despite the fact that they've gotten revenge on most of these teams, they're still recovering. You know, they're still trying to make sure that they get the best position possible for that playoff position, and so that they can get that back to back.
I think that we need to have some information into account, because Efes scored a new EuroLeague record, scoring 22 threes against Maccabi in the last game. And Micic was the last round MVP. Do you think this is a good advantage for Efes arriving to the game like this?
Well, Sophia, I have no question that Micic playing at his best only helps Efes. And we've already been talking about Shane Larkin kind of sneaking under Mirotic in that MVP talk. But Micic is sitting here like, hey, I'm the reigning MVP. Don't forget about me, guys. And so I think this was kind of a statement game for him, saying, guys, hold on a minute. I'm still in this race too. Let's not forget about me. But it was a great performance, 20 points, nearly perfect shooting from the field, and a 30 PIR. If Efes starts to play with their two best players playing at their top level, it's going to be a very scary sight for the rest of the league.
That's on F side, but we all also need to look at Fenerbahce side because Nando Di Colo is back. He has been playing in the last 2 games. He scored 19 points in the last game against Monaco, and also we have Jan Besley that he has been traveling with the team, so he's gonna be a game time decision. Do you think these two players being on the field can make a difference in the game?
Um, for me, yeah, absolutely. I think that having these two all-star vets coming back, I know they had left at around the same time. Having them back at the same time will make a huge shift in the dynamic. And like for example, Vesely, I think he's going to add a huge amount of defensive pressure in the paint. And that's going to be very important for them against their next games against Bayern, Baskonia, and especially Barcelona, right? But I think we're all excited to see Nando De Colo back. It's no secret that he's one of Fener's number one weapons. So, Dane, maybe you can speak to whether you think it's too late that they're back.
Yeah, I think this is a game that it's even more important than a game that if they were 1-2 or 3-4 up on the top of the league, because this is a game that both teams are fighting for their playoff lives right now, which is going to make it even more intense, make it even more crazy. And we already know Istanbul, they don't need any more incentive to go absolutely wild during these intercity rivalries. And you know what? I'm going with Fenerbahce. If they get Vesely back, they got Colo back already. These are two certified champions. I mean, these guys have been around the league for a long time. I know they're going against Efes. I know Efes is probably the better team right now, but I'm going to say basketball is a game of averages. 22 3-pointers last game. I think they go cold this game. I do. I think that's my vision, but I don't know, girls. What do you think?
Sofia, I'm not sure what you think. I'm definitely going with FS. What do you think?
I think that I have to please our guest, and again, I have to disagree with Dane. I'm gonna go with Efes because, I love Efes. I love Shane Larkin, like I said, and Dane has Fenerbahce. You and I have Efes, and we're also having comments from our viewers. Like we have a comment here from Sengius. I think I've said it right. If not, I'm sorry. Saying Fenerbahce, guys, we want to hear your opinion. We want you to send out your comments, your opinions on what's going to happen on this game. Who's going to be the MVP of the game and who's going to shine? We're going to, last week we had a friendly competition between guest and host. This week it's going to be Mahal and me against Dane because we're going with Efes and Dane is going to go with Fenerbahce. So we're going to be talking next week. We're going to be reviewing next week on who's winning, on who's won this competition, because we will review who won this game of the week. Guys. Sorry, Dane.
Sophia, let's just not forget about the watch along, our sister show, which is with our boy Anthony Goods, he'll be live Thursday, March 3rd at 6:20 Central European time, and he'll be with my other boy Andrew Gaudlock, who I actually went to college in Charleston with. So we got boys all around here. We're so connected, aren't we, Sophia? Aren't we, Mom?
That's why world is too small.
Yeah, we're always very good connected, and we will definitely be watching the watch along. We are gonna be watching the game and definitely talking about this game next week again, 5:30 Central each time, live on YouTube on EuroLeague TV. I want to say thank you to everyone that has been sending out comments, that has been interacting with us, because we love all the love that you guys are sending. And I just want to say that if you want to keep watching our EuroStep shows on demand, you can do it on YouTube and also on EuroLeague TV. You can also have discount code for EuroLeague TV on your first payment on a monthly pass with the code PO20. That means you will have a 20% off on your first payment. So start doing it unless you're from Spain or Italy, because that would mean that you are not going to be able to enjoy it. And remember, it expires at the end of the regular season. For more EuroLeague content, don't forget EuroLeague social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Follow us there. Find out everything about EuroLeague, and we're gonna be back again next Tuesday, 5:30 Central East Time. Thank you so much, Mahal, for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
No worries. Thank you.
We're not forgetting that you and I have FS. So next week we're gonna be talking about that, and we are hoping to have you back.
I hope to be back. I'm excited. I'll see you both another time.
Dane, thank you so much for being the best co-host and resident expert ever. Thank you so much for all your knowledge. No, thank you. And thank you all for watching and sending us the best love possible. Thank you, and see you next week.